Hey everybody, Steve Billman here. Thanks for joining me. Hey, today we're going to start a journey in bass techniques. And these exercises are going to come from a book that I wrote, a technique book. Um, and we're going to do a couple today, and I'll intersperse some more later on in other videos. So, what I tried to do is with this particular book is I tried to work places in my technique that I knew were weak. And one of those places that I really was struggling with was technique between my third and my fourth finger with my left hand. So these two exercises that I'm going to give you are going to help if you're struggling with that as well to work on these two fingers specifically. But it will really help all of your left hand in strengthening, and also it'll help your right hand. But the primary focus is going to be on your third and your fourth finger. Okay. Now, I would recommend before doing these exercises that I'm going to give you, to make sure that you're warmed up, to make sure that your fingers have moved a little bit, because these are not warm up exercises as much as they are exercises to build your endurance and your strength. And you just want to be careful. And if at any point you feel a little bit of pain or anything uncomfortable in your left hand, please stop, because the purpose of this is to strengthen your hand and not to damage it. Okay. So make sure that you're sort of listening to your hand, listening to your body. If something's going on, then please stop and just rest it. Um, okay. So with these exercises, I would recommend starting out at a very slow tempo, working those working the exercises uh, at a slow tempo until they become clean, and then slowly you can increase the tempo. But make sure that you're not sacrificing the cleanliness of the notes with a faster tempo, because that's usually most of our tendencies is we kind of want to get into a faster playing position. But just take your time with it, play them slowly, and eventually you'll be able to work them up. All right? Okay. So I'm going to show you the notes, break them down, then we'll talk about what the rhythm is, and then I'll play each exercise with the click for you. At first, if you're not able to play it at that tempo, that's fine. You'll be able to hear me play it, and then you can break it down in your practice time and do it at a slower tempo. Okay? One thing I have to say before we go on, guys, I play a five string, but I have a high C on it, so there's no low B. So if you have a five string with a low B, or you have a four string, this is going to require some shifting. So you're going to want to play, we're going to play a high C. So you're going to want to play the high C up here. Okay. I'm playing it here. So don't get confused as I'm telling you the notes, or I'm playing, this is a high C, this is a low E. I'm going to play it basically between the 10th and the 12th fret. But again, if you're playing on a five or four string, then you're going to have to play here, and then you'll have to make some shifts. Okay. All right. So let's go through the notes first. So with my fourth finger, I'm playing a high C. Then below that, I have an F sharp on my G string, and then a B flat. Okay, and that's sort of the pattern for the at least the downward motion of this exercise. Okay, so again, C, F sharp, and then B flat. So then I just do the same thing starting on the G string. G, D flat, and F. Same thing on D string. D, A flat, C, A string, A, E flat, G. So that's my downward part of this exercise. So again, C, F sharp, B flat, G, D flat, F, D, A flat, C, A, E flat, G. Okay, now right now we're not dealing with rhythm. I'm just giving you the notes. I'll talk about the rhythm in a minute. Then the going back pattern now is going to start on my E string. It's going to start on D flat, D flat, E flat, G, E flat. Okay, and like before, that pattern is going to continue all the way back up the bass. So again, one more time, starting on my E string, D flat, E flat, G, E flat, Then I have G flat, A flat, C, A flat. Then I have B, C sharp, F, C sharp. And then the last phrase is going to be a 3-note phrase, E, F sharp, and B flat. So you'll notice that going up, it's a 4-note phrase. I have D flat, E flat, G, and then E flat. That's 4 notes. Then I do the same thing, 4 notes, G flat, A flat, C, A flat. One more time, 4 notes, B, C sharp, F, C sharp. Then the last phrase is just 3 notes, E, F sharp, and then B flat. And then that takes me back to the top, the C to the top of the phrase. Okay? So it's a little strange, I know, but I'll explain exactly once we look at the rhythms. It'll make a little bit more sense why that's a 4-note phrase. Okay, so let's talk about the rhythms. So going down, well, actually, all of the rhythms are going to be triplets. Okay, going down, we're just going to play straight triplets. So 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, and again, a triplet is just 3 notes in the space of 1 beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Going back up, it's still going to be the note value of a triplet. Okay. But we're going to accent after every 4th triplet, which is going to create this polyrhythmic element of to our exercise. So what I like to do, you guys, whether I'm writing an exercise or writing a book or just, in a class or whatever, when I give assignments, I like to do things that have more than one element to them because music has more than one element in it. So when I'm writing these exercises, not only is it good for your technique, your left hand and your right hand, but it's also, I want to make them so that it's good for your rhythmic sense. So getting used to playing polyrhythmic kind of phrases or changing accents on certain rhythms is a really sort of good way to develop your inner clock, to develop a rhythmic sense that's a little sophisticated. So that's what I'm hoping to do with these exercises. So going up, it's still going to be a triplet, but you're going to phrase the triplet in groups of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last phrase is just 3 notes. It's a triplet. 1 triplet, 1. And then you're back on the top of the phrase. So again, from that bottom, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, accent 2, 3, 4, accent 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. There's our beginning of the phrase. Okay? All right. So again, we're not looking for speed, we're looking for accuracy. And also making sure that you're using the right fingerings that I gave you because we're trying to develop, strengthen our fingers, especially the 3rd and the 4th finger and making them stronger. Okay? All right. So I'm going to turn on the click and I'll play it for you. It's probably going to be a little faster than you're able to do. And if that's the case, you can just listen to me play it and then go away from the video. You can click on your metronome at a slower tempo and you can play it at that tempo. Okay, but this will at least give you an idea of what it'll sound like. All right, so here we go. Okay, so I'm at 56 beats per minute. I'm going to count you in. There's the triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Couple more times. So the accent might be a little weird at first, but again, it's just something to get used to. If you can't do it right away, that's okay. Just just play through it. But eventually you want to make sure after 4 going up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, that you're accenting those downbeats, because that's going to give us the sense of this polyrhythm. Okay? All right. So that's the first exercise. Again, practice it slowly, get it clean, and then as you get it clean, go ahead and build it up. And with these exercises too, you could put a time limit on it. So in other words, maybe when you first start, put a clocking of 50 seconds. You're going to play that exercise for 50 seconds. And then maybe the next time or 60 seconds, whichever. Next time you do it, maybe it's 2 minutes. And then as you build it up, as you build your strength up, then maybe you can go 5 minutes with just playing that exercise. But again, if you get to any point where you're feeling pain or discomfort, stop. You want to rest your hand. The idea is to build your hand up, not to injure yourself, okay? But the time element is important because that'll give you the endurance and the strength as you do these exercises, all right? Okay, here's the second one. All right, so I'm going to keep it at 56 beats per minute. And this exercise is going to be very similar to the one we just did. But we're going to practice, again, rhythmically, we're going to practice going from 16 notes to triplets. Now, obviously, 16 notes and triplets are different speeds. And for me, at least, one of the hardest things for me to do rhythmically is to go back and forth between those two rhythm sets, because they're obviously different speeds, and it really works your inner clock to be able to play them exactly precise. So again, I'm looking at more than one element in these exercises to work on. And in this case, it's the technique, but it's also this rhythmic aspect of going from duple rhythms, 16 notes, to triple rhythms, triplets. So let me give you the notes. It's similar, but not the same. So going down is going to be 16 notes. So we've got 4 notes: C, F sharp, B flat, and E. So again, C, F sharp, B flat, E. Those are 16 notes. Then we do the same pattern all the way down the strings. G, D flat, F, B. Then D, A flat, C, F sharp. And then A, E flat, G, D flat. Okay? So again, one more time. C, F sharp, B flat, E, G, D flat, F, B, D, A flat, C, F sharp, A, E flat, G, D flat, or C sharp. So that's going down. And again, those are going to be 16 notes. Then going back up, we're going to do triplets. And it's similar to the other one, but it's sort of backwards. So D flat, G, E flat, then G flat, C, A flat, B, F, D flat, E, B flat, F sharp. So one more time, going up. D flat, G, E flat, G flat, C, A flat, B, F, D flat, E, B flat, F sharp, or G flat. And then that leads us back to the C, back to the 16 notes. Okay? All right. So let me just play it for a second. I'll turn the click on, but let me just play at a very slow tempo the whole thing. Just the notes. It's not going to be in time. I'm just going to play the notes so you can hear them. Okay? So one more time. Here we go. And again, these aren't actually triplets here. I'm just going to play the notes. And then that leads us back to the top. Okay? So I'm going to be going between those two note values. 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E. So again, part of the challenge is going to be switching back and forth. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so again, I'm starting out going down. I'm starting out in 60 notes. I get to the bottom, and then from the bottom, I go back up as triplets. And for me, what I notice a lot of times, that time was pretty good, but what I notice a lot of times is I tend to rush the 16 notes after the triplets when I come back in. So you're gonna find little areas rhythmically where you're gonna have to sort of adjust, but that's part of what we're doing. Is again, we're trying to put ourselves under the microscope and just see those little areas maybe where we need to improve. And that's the idea, is as we do this, we'll improve. So it'll strengthen your hand, your technique, but it will also strengthen your rhythmic sense. All right. So again, I've said this a few times, so forgive me, but I want to make sure it's clear. Start these exercises slow, then work the tempo up, and then add a time element to it as well, whether it's a minute or even 20 seconds. If when you first start doing it, it's too hard, just do 20 seconds. And then as you get better, then the time will increase and also the tempo will increase. And remember, again, the last time I'm going to say this, but it's important. Remember, if you feel any pain or any discomfort, just stop and rest your hand. We do not want to injure ourselves. We just want to strengthen our left hand. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for spending this time with me. I hope that helped, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.